There were so many times in this experiment when I was shocked with how good my hair turned out.
This video is not sponsored.
I went 3 weeks without hair products. Will it get greasy? Will it get dry? Would it be worse? Would it be better? Would it be the same? What's gonna happen? So many questions. First, before I began the experiment, I did one final shampoo just to get rid of any hair products. I didn't want that sitting on my hair for 3 weeks, so I wanted to make sure everything was out. The first wash with just shampoo, as I expected, was very squeaky clean, and my hair was really stringy without conditioner to detangle my hair. It was weird. It felt weird. So I styled my hair exactly the same, just without product. If you haven't already seen my curly hair routine, you can click up here. I hope this is the right side of the screen. I guess we'll find out in post, where you can see how I style my hair. And the curls actually clumped together pretty nicely. It looked pretty good, but you know, it was wet, so I thought like, we'll see what happens when it dries, because everything looks pretty okay when it's wet. My hair dried so fast without anything in it. I didn't even consider that as a benefit, but it was a great benefit. My hair usually takes a pretty long time to dry, and this is what it looked like 100% dried, and this took about an hour and a half. It was big, it was light, it was fluffy, it was luscious. I even posted a picture on Instagram with my hair like this, and no one noticed that anything was different. So this particular week was an editing week, and when I edit, I don't wear my hair down. I wear my hair up and in a braid to keep it out of my face, to keep it safe, to keep it happy. This is what it looked like 7 days later after being in a braid. For comparison, this is what it usually looks like when it's in a braid for a week. Pretty similar. My scalp felt actually a lot less dry than usual, which was interesting. When I exfoliated my scalp that week, hardly any dead skin came off of my scalp, which was unusual. Like usually there's something, but there was very little. It looked shiny. It looked moisturized considering there was nothing in it. I wasn't expecting that. Something else I wasn't expecting, it wasn't really that frizzy either. Detangling the shower was a lot easier this week because I didn't use shampoo. It wasn't stringy, it wasn't dry. It's like it had its own slip. My hair felt really healthy and really moisturized as I was running through. I was thinking like, wow, there's nothing in it. Why is it so buttery? Why is it so smooth? I don't understand. Hair loss for that week was pretty regular. Nothing more, nothing less, just the usual. How did my scalp feel? It didn't have that same tingly feeling that shampoo gives you, but it didn't feel dirty either. My hair felt a little bit heavier than it did the week before, but this just makes sense because the sebum is starting to coat my roots, which is creating more weight, which makes it feel heavier, especially when it's wet. There was kind of like a waxy feel to it, and this is probably because of the sebum. Sebum has a similar texture to jojoba oil, and this is what it looked like after an hour and a half of drying. In general, it looked big, it looked voluminous and fluffy. It was also surprisingly really shiny, and it looked a little bit more hydrated this week. Thank you, sebum, making my hair look all shiny and not greasy.
Not yet.
And I really liked how easy and low maintenance this whole thing was. As a busy person, I felt like I got some time back. This was another week of editing, so my hair went back into a low braid for the week. This is what it looked like 7 days later. Pretty similar to the week before. The wash, however, it was different. It was as if I put conditioner in my hair. It was so much more slippery this time, so much more silky, but it was heavy. Very, very, very heavy. I'm assuming this is because the sebum was coating even more of my hair, making it even more heavy, especially at the roots. And this is how much hair I lost on this week, a little bit more than the week before. The plan was to end the experiment here. It was only supposed to be a 2-week experiment, but my curiosity got the best of me. I had to know what would happen if I wore it down. I want to see what it looks like down. I want to see day 2. I want to see day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to see all of it. So I continued the experiment for another week, wearing it in a pineapple at night and letting it loose during the day to see what would happen. My scalp felt pretty clean. I got used to it not being squeaky clean, to not having the scalp tingles. It just felt fresh. Styling was a little bit different this week. I found that my hair was drying a lot faster than usual. So fast that I actually had to keep re-wetting it while I was styling it because it was getting dry. That being said, no complaints here. As a person whose hair takes forever to dry, it was kind of nice having it dry so fast. It felt like I had product in my hair. It felt like I had pomade or like a wax or something in my hair because it had a very like tacky feel to it. But at the same time, it was also frizzy in some parts. So the parts that were getting coated in sebum were holding together pretty well, but there were parts that weren't getting really coated in the sebum that were frizzy. So it was a little bit too much contrast for me. It was like super hydrated and then very dry. So the dry pieces just really stood out. Like this piece. This piece, I tried everything. I re-wet it, I recombed it, I re-Denman brushed it. It was not playing with the team. It was not cooperating. At this rate, I was a little bit concerned. Would I actually be able to make it through the week? It hasn't even been an hour at this point, and my hair was already starting to frizz out in some sections. This is what it looked like after an hour. Again, I was a little bit concerned about my roots because my roots looked very greasy at this point, and I couldn't tell. Is it just because it's wet? Is it just because it's greasy? Is it both? Is it gonna look like this when it dries? I was starting to second guess, like, do I want to continue the experiment? I could end it now. It was a tough call, but I decided to let it dry so we could assess the situation then. This is what it looked like after an hour and a half of drying. I was pleasantly surprised. As it dried, it looked better and less greasy. There were so many times in this experiment when I was shocked with how good my hair turned out, because when it was wet, there were a few times I thought like, I don't think this is gonna dry very well. But then it dries and it's like some magical thing happened, and then bam, like it was fine. Not even just fine, it looked good. And I didn't get it. Like, how did this happen? I will leave some footage at the end of this video for those of you that are curious to see what this looked like on day 2 to day 8. We have reached the end of week 3. We made it. This is what it looked like just before washing. And by this point, I was so excited to wash my hair with hair products. I just really missed them so much. I learned that hair products are important, but styling is just as important. I'll probably do this once in a while in the weeks when I'm not filming, just to give my hair a little bit of a vacation, a little bit of a break, to let it soak in its natural juices, a little hair vacation, a little rest and relaxation. 2 weeks was kind of the sweet spot for me. Beyond that, my hair started to get very greasy and very dry. A combo together is not an ideal situation. I probably wouldn't do 3 weeks again. And it's good to know that if my products ever disappeared, if they ever got discontinued, that I could survive temporarily with just using water until I figured out what to do next. Here is the footage from the week. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. You're in my shot. Do you know what my experiment is yet?
You did your hair. Your hair looks different because you washed it. You have your Invisalign in. Yep. Yes. You're wearing my t-shirt. You're not wearing your makeup. Did you cut your hair? You need finger coil or something. It's different.
Think about it.
No, I don't keep guessing. Are you wearing my underwear?
No,
you're wearing
cheating.
You're wearing a cheating pants. Are you doing Kegels?
You give up?
No. Did you put products in?
You got it!
Can you put products in?
You got it.
Your hair looks different.
Wait, no. There's no product in it.
There's no product in it.
No conditioner, no product.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't it look amazing?
It does look good.
Look at the breeze.
It's defined but fluffy.
Yes. I'm doing an experiment. It's a day one. Okay. It's so good he couldn't guess it.